It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
What is up, heroes of Dominion? My name is Charlie. This is Hero War Central, and in this video, I want to talk a little bit about the best Brawl teams from around the internet. We've got some great content creators putting out some 100% win rate teams. Thought we would test some of those out, but before we do, I want to briefly discuss the workshop relic, the new relic, Scroll of Mastery. This is a lot of extra coins very quickly. It is a pretty worthy consideration as far as relics to level up, but I have two problems with it. First of all, it requires the white metal in order to rank up the relic, and you need that for the Dojo of Justice. If it didn't require the white, yellow, or red, I would probably consider it, but because it requires the whites, I already don't consider it at all as viable. The second problem with the Scroll of Mastery is that the Brawl shop and the Brawl only lasts 4 days. Okay, it's already 8 hours into it, and we do have confirmation from the community manager that the Brawl and the Brawl shop do disappear in a few days. That makes this relic only useful for a couple of days. So while it does give a ton of bonus rewards as you rank it up, those two reasons I am not going to waste any materials on this. You might find it more beneficial, but in the long run, the items that you can get with the Ninja Turtle coins, if you don't take advantage of the Brawl shop, which has the red items and the manhole cover in it. If you don't take advantage of these, then the items that you can buy with the Ninja Turtle coin kind of drop in value pretty dramatically. So, investing in a relic that gives you a bunch of extra coins that will lose its value once the Brawl shop ends from 2 points of view, it's just not it for me. Now, let's take a look at this Brawl. I am going to be facing off against some NPC opponents early on, but we're going to get these out of the way pretty quickly. The first team I'm going to look at is from TradeBoy. As far as I can tell, they were the first to post a Brawl team. They say 100% win rates. Obviously, that's not going to be the case. Anytime any of these videos say 100% win rate, it is a very small sample size, and myself is included in that. We don't really fight every possible team combination. Obviously, we just can't do that. But this is something to consider whenever you're watching these videos. I too have been guilty of saying this, and you're not wrong because it is 100% win rate. But there always will be a team that can eventually stop you. The way that the game is built, there is no team that is 100% unbeatable. That's just not how it is. But we've got a nice combination here: Rufus, Ninja Turtles, Amira, Heidi with Thea. What I like about this team is it's got a good mix of physical and magic damage dealer. So we're gonna go until we lose. Now, I already know the shortcomings from this team is going to be probably enemy teams with Rufus. I think that you're gonna need to either swap in your own Morgan to counter. You see Morgan right there. Your own Morgan to counter that enemy Rufus, or you're going to need to use Jet to counter that Rufus instead. You could get lucky with the Ninja Turtles and win out, but the magic damage that is provided here, it's just a lot. Let's keep going. Let's see how long we can do before we lose out. So we did end up having a defeat against an NPC opponent. I'm not really sure 100% what happened here, but you can see that the team did lose, had a timeout there. It is what it is. You could probably get all the way to the end with that team, without using all 5 of your lives, but that's okay. Let's try out a different team. This one's from Hero Wars Gunnar. He posted this one earlier this morning, about 12 hours ago. Now, what I really like about having Aurora in the front is all of these battles start off with the Ninja Turtles doing a lot of physical damage. Leonardo does a signature ability right out of the gate. So having a frontline hero that is a dodge hero is really, really, really smart. Aurora is just an absolute perfect opportunity here. The combo of Orion and Gus is incredibly popular right now, and as far as I can tell, this is the first YouTuber that put this team out. Orion, Gus, Dorian. I'm not surprised to see this team quite a bit. We already have a bunch of dead heroes, but that's okay. We still won out. This team is going to have the same problem as that last team did. If you go up against a team with Rufus, you're not really going to have a good way to defeat Rufus aside from just getting lucky with the Ninja Turtles themselves. Good job to Hero Wars Gunnar for this coming up with this team. Although Gus Orion is one of the strongest combos in the game right now. Here is an interesting opportunity with Dante in the front line. You want to try to avoid Dante in the front line as much as you can in this brawl. Honestly, it is probably the one kind of tank situation that will give most of your teams trouble. The massive amount of dodge, let's try this. The massive amount of dodge that you give, dodge energy that you give your enemy's front line right at the beginning of every fight just lets Dante kind of run with it. And I think one of the better teams that we're going to see in Guild War, Arena, Clash of Worlds, I think one of the better teams that we're going to see a lot of. This is interesting. Kayla Aiden versus this line could be kind of fun. I think it might be a little too slow still. Yeah, one of the teams that I think a lot of people are going to be using in Clash of Worlds and Arena PvP and all of that is the Dante Ninja Turtles combo. I have some sneaking suspicions that it's going to help Dante come back to some of his popularity that he had a year ago, since they're not really that good of a hero anymore. They're good, they're just not really as good or nearly as good as they were, a year ago. So we're going to keep running with Hero Wars Gunnar's team. Again, the video for both of these YouTubers is going to be linked in the description box down below if you want to check them out. TradeBoy, great YouTuber. Hero Wars Gunnar, great YouTuber. I'm sure you've seen plenty of their videos out recently. We're going to do another popular YouTuber next. Check out what kind of team that they have. Okay, so here's an example of what I'm talking about. You're going to lose going up against Rufus. You just absolutely are going to lose. So I think what was suggested, was to use Jet here instead of Dorian. I don't know that this is actually going to be enough, but the rest of this team being a lot of control and counter control, it might not matter because you're just so fast with the Orion and Gus damage output. Jet allows you to kill Rufus when the poison bottle is applied. It blocks the health regen. It doesn't counter the revive like Morgan does, but it blocks the health regen. Jet does not work for Astaroth revives, but Astaroth revive only works once. Rufus revive works every fight. So if you do come up against a team with Rufus tank with this line, just swap in Jet for Dorian and you should be okay. Let's do a couple more fights here just to see how, if we can get a loss out of this. I'm expecting that we're not going to get a loss with this unless we come into very specific lines. But this is the team that I'd probably recommend most players to use. It's absolutely free, and Orion Gus is just very, very dominant right now. I can't imagine that there's going to be any team that I come up against that it isn't going to beat very quickly, unless it's just stacked to counter magic damage, magic defense, not necessarily Isaac, but just bonus magic defense and, stuff to protect against the pure damage and damage output from Orion. Just a very strong combo, probably the most powerful combo for 2025, Orion and Gus. I would call it probably 100% win rate if I was making this video. I didn't lose with this team once, and with the exception of swapping Jet for Dorian, I seem to be okay. So, I would call this a pretty high win rate. Again, Hero Wars Gunnar, linked in the description box down below. Posted their video about 12 hours ago. Really, really, really strong team. So the next video that I want to take a look at is from Olympus, Hero Wars Olympus, Day 1 Brawl team. They posted a couple hours later. They posted basically the same team lineup using Nebula here instead of Aurora. I don't actually like this lineup at all, and I'll show you why I don't like this lineup. A lot of teams in current PvP right now are using Dante with this line, Dante, Nebula, Orion, Gus, with the fifth hero being swapped out. Because the Ninja Turtles actually jump behind Nebula here, I don't actually like this team that much. Watch, Nebula is going to be in front, and Nebula's buff is not going to be consistently getting onto Gus and Orion. Whoops, I should probably play in auto mode. This team is going to be a little different. It's designed, again, to do a lot of really fast attacking, but this exposes Nebula out front, which is one of the big enablers for this team. I'm just not as big a fan of it because the Ninja Turtles jumping back and forth, and it's going to have the same problem that the other team had. If you see a Rufus team, then you're going to have to swap out one of these heroes, very likely Dorian. You're going to have to swap out Dorian or somebody for a hero that can counter the revive of Rufus. Like, let's see if we can find a Rufus team and just kind of show you there. Highly recommend anybody that wants to, blow through this brawl, at least day one, use Gus, Orion, Dorian. Just super simple. The magic damage and pure damage is a very strong counter to the Ninja Turtles, and a lot of the teams that you're going to see on defense are going to be a physical attacking based team with the Ninja Turtles, with Dante. You can see here we're using Zhu and Sebastian. This team doesn't really rely on any control effects, so Sebastian is kind of a wasted hero. You don't really need to see, you don't really even need to use chorus and these kinds of things. So yeah, I don't have any trouble saying that this is a strong team either. Okay, so let's intentionally lose here. Okay, I'm intentionally gonna lose just to show you. Rufus is just a strong counter to this team. This is why you wouldn't use this attacking team here, this Gus, Gus Orion team, this is why you wouldn't use this on defense. You're going to time out. I guess if you were on defense, you do want to time out. I suppose that'd be okay. You got to hope that the Ninja Turtles get the killing blow here. Of course, playing in manual mode, it's possible. So playing in, if the activity required you to play in, oh, see, we won. So there you go. I would still want to recommend trading out one of the heroes for Jet or for Morgan there to guarantee that win. Because that Rufus reviving over and over is going to be a big problem. So yeah, I think we got 3 really good teams here. One looks really similar to another team, but you know, it is what it is. So there you go. If you're looking for one team to play with that will get you through all of the daily quest as quickly as possible without having to buy more lives, that's the play, you know, so you don't have to buy any more lives. Although 200 emeralds isn't that bad. Getting this capped out every single day. Just consider my words about the relic at the beginning of the video if you want. And I still do think that buying the items from the Brawl shop here is a much better value than buying them from the secret laboratory shop. There is a task in chapter 3 to spend secret laboratory coins, and you need to spend 20. So I believe we're going to get more secret laboratory coins in chapter 3 or chapter 4, whenever the turtle festival goes live. I do know actually that we are going to get more. We'll talk about that whenever that chapter does go live here in 3 days and 14 hours, whatever it is. So great content around the internet in the last couple of days for Ninja Turtles, and I know that I've got a lot more content to put out myself today, so make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications to never miss a video. I love you all. Good luck in Dominion.